I'm gonna restart. You know what? I'm gonna restart. There's only 10 people in here. I'm gonna restart. Do another half hour because I've been on. How long have I been on? 24 minutes. I'm going to restart. Oh, it's hot. How's it going, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? You guys missed the first debate that I had on the stream, which is quite a bummer, but we're back, YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. Izzy, thank you for the coordinate. I appreciate you so very much. You're amazing. Some W's in the chat for Izzy. You're absolutely amazing. Anyways, YouTube, how's it going? You missed a debate, but it's okay. I have to pull up my YouTube chat. If I don't get any debates in like 15 minutes, I'm just gonna like end. I just had some free time and I wanted to like catch some debates. I'm trying to pull up the YouTube stream. Hold on. Okay, we're back. How's it going, YouTube? How's it going, TikTok? As you guys are starting to load up in, make sure to join up in the guest box. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to have a conversation with you, a debate with you. As always, we are looking for some debates. Okay, we're good. How's it going? The news, as I was telling you guys earlier, Iran attacked Kuwait, struck Kuwait's airport. Setcom lied and said they hadn't hit any of their targets. My favorite unemployed host, thanks. um, but they lied and said they hadn't hit their targets, but they did. So far, one is dead, multiple injured. Donald Trump hasn't been seen in like 6 or 7 days. Think with the heartbeat. He hasn't been seen in almost a week. Only in pre-recorded. Think with the following pre-recorded videos. And people are noticing he's starting to swell up again, right? So they're obviously lying to us about his health, about his well-being, right? Which it'll come out eventually. Wow, there's already 20 people over on YouTube. How's it going, y'all? Make sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. That number always skyrockets on YouTube very quickly. As always, we are looking for some debates. If you want to debate me, if you're on YouTube and you want to debate me, click on the link tree and then click on the TikTok icon and then come over and debate me. Unfortunately, you do have to leave the YouTube app. Again, click on the link tree. And then once you're on the link tree, you click on the TikTok icon. It's going to be the first icon there. And then you come up and debate me. And as always, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and hit that notification all whenever you do. Let me start a two poll. Hold on.
Hello.
How old are you? There we go. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. There's a poll over on YouTube. Make sure to go vote. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you so very much. I appreciate you so very much. Do you have the source or Setcom line? Yeah, it's gonna be on X. So on X, last night, they had said that Iran, because we knew that Iran had struck multiple different targets last night. But on X, Setcom had put out that like they hadn't hit any of their targets and all of them had been intercepted. But obviously, we found out this morning that actually I can like pull it up right now. Hold on. But obviously, we know this morning that Kuwait's airport was hit. Right, so I'll just pull up there. Thank you for the follow. If you don't support the president, who should you support? What name? You don't have to support anyone. No, because Iran did like attempted to strike a bunch of different of their targets. I can like Setcom. There we go. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. Hold on. Sent. There we go. I saw that. Was it this account? Yes, it was. It was. Hold on. Let me go back. Yeah, so they said an additional wave of Iranian drones attempting to attack U.S. forces in Kuwait failed to impact intended targets tonight. This was 18 hours ago. U.S. Central Command Air Defense successfully downed multiple drones to ensure that no American personnel or assets were harmed. This was 18 hours ago. Um, and they haven't like addressed the airport that was hit. Yeah, that's what they posted 18 hours ago. I've let average guy up before, but I don't think I've talked to Mo. Okay, how's it going? What do you
Epstein
want?
kidnapped me when I was 11. He showed me his schlong. It feels like having a camp.
Guess we're talking to this guy.
This guy.
How's it going?
Hello.
What do you want to talk about?
I'm curious. What policies of Trump do you not like? All I hear is people complain about, oh, his character, like he's a bad man, orange man bad. But what actual policies?
It's pretty hard. He doesn't have like any immigration policy. His only policy domestically is gonna be like the one big beautiful bill is like biggest policy of his foreign policy, the war. So I just point to the big beautiful bill, the war.
Okay,
It
what's wrong
was
with the big beautiful bill?
yeah, to cut it implemented work requirements for the first time on Medicaid.
Whoa,
The
what's wrong with
president.
work requirements? What's wrong with people actually having to work for benefits?
Yeah, I don't think people should have to work for healthcare, because there's already 50,000 people that die every year because of the lack of access to preventative healthcare.
Well, people should just be entitled to millions of dollars worth of health care and not have to contribute to society by any means.
Okay, would you apply this to um any taxpayer funded item or thing or
I would be
source?
so down for that, yeah.
Okay, so police forces, right? A single mom of like four children that's getting robbed, that she isn't working, she shouldn't be able to call 911, correct?
Okay, I don't know about 911 services,
That's
but
funded by taxpayer dollars, though, like me and you. Then
true.
she shouldn't be lazy, right? She shouldn't be lazy. She shouldn't be leeching off of the government using 911 resources that's paid by me and you, right?
True. But how much money do we spend in 911 resources?
True? Are you fucking stupid? Did you just say true to that? You're trolling.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to say true there. I was already on a thought process in my head. But I mean, the difference is, so for example, I mean, if it got to a point where we were spending, $2 trillion a year on emergency services, shit might get like that crazy to where we have to start being selective. But it's relatively expensive. It's handled by local governments. The
It's still
difference between
funded by
that,
me and you.
hold on, the difference between that and Medicaid is single-handedly costing us $2 trillion a year. It's the biggest line item in our entire budget, and
Hey, the military budget
we're
costs us
seeing
1.5.
definitely not 1 point. Where did you get 1.5 from?
That's the proposed budget that Donald Trump has.
Proposed, but as of right now, it's 1 trillion. So it's
Okay,
already
okay,
double.
1 trillion. Let's say, well, I'll grant you 1 trillion, right? Let's say his 1.5 doesn't even get past a trillion for military budget for killing children. By the way, $1 trillion to kill children versus what you said, 2 trillion. I haven't even looked at the number. Let's say I granted you versus 2 trillion to save lives, right?
Yeah, but you didn't let me finish. The problem with it is we're seeing people every day, someone gets sentenced to another 20, 30 years in prison. for defrauding Medicaid of billions of dollars. But to go back to that,
can I address that real
another
quick?
problem is people are getting too comfortable sitting on this government safety hammock, where
Hold on,
people
can I address something real
do you
quick?
know?
You said
Well,
prison.
first let me ask you.
You said prison. Before we like move on, it's just like a real quick point. People shouldn't go to
Okay.
prison unless they have like a job, right? Since it's funded by taxpayers.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Continue.
If you don't have a job, you don't have to go to prison. You got it.
Even if they commit like a violent crime.
Right. Yeah. Because that's only for taxpayers.
Continue.
That's funny. Basically, but on a serious note on that prison thing, prison's not a commodity for the person going there. It's actually a service for the taxpayers around them that to keep them out of society. So it doesn't really apply. But going back to what you were saying before, damn it. That's why I hate interjecting questions because now I lost my train of thought on that.
We can go. I can replay it back. See if you
No.
remember.
What was it? Oh yeah. Do you? I guess let me just ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you know who the work requirements were applied towards?
Who they were applying towards?
Yeah, well, like who has to submit work requirements?
I mean, pretty much anyone that like is able to work.
Yeah, able-bodied adults without dependents.
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
They,
if these
they still should not have work requirements. Healthcare shouldn't have work requirements because it saves lives, right? The Constitution
But
says
it
life,
also
liberty,
costs
and pursuit of
money.
happiness.
it costs
everything
a
costs
lot of money. It's the biggest line item in our budget for the second time.
Okay, everything costs money. What's your point?
The point being is implementing policies like these, it actually lifts people up out of poverty by forcing them to go and get a job or contribute in some way. It gives back to the society because they're taking away from society through benefits. So therefore, they should contribute.
It also increases the death rates among this specific group, right? Already 50,000 people
Work
die every year
requirements
because of lack of
do?
access to yes, right? 50,000
All
people
they
die
have
every year
to
because
do
of lack of
is
access to healthcare, preventative healthcare, right? And you're saying that like these people should work. Yeah, I agree. People should work, but it shouldn't be like work or you die. It shouldn't be that. Do you think we should tell people you go to work or you die? Should it be that? Yes or no?
no. You still get emergency care no matter what. No
Right,
one's
but
dying.
preventative healthcare. I'm saying 50,000 people die every year because of preventative healthcare, something that could have been prevented if they had access to healthcare. So in this instance, it literally is you go to work or you die, right? I agree. People should work. People should be productive members of
I
society.
think that's a pretty extreme version. Look, it's pretty simple. No one's saying anyone wants anyone to die. We're just saying that if you're going to apply for health benefits that can amount to being millions of dollars, you should contribute to society in the form
I
of it could
agree.
be anything. It could be volunteering. They don't
I agree,
necessarily
but
have to
that's
get a
not how we
job.
do it.
They could volunteer, go to school, do anything but sit on the couch for 20 hours a week. That's not much to
I
ask for from
agree,
your
but that's not
citizen.
how we do it. We don't do it by putting work requirements.
That is
by
how we do it.
increasing
We
the
just
people that
pass
can
into
work.
law.
One more
That's
time.
exactly how we do it. I'm saying
So you by increasing the death rate?
it's not increasing the death rate. Nobody would even get kicked off if they just contribute to society in some
That's my
form.
point. If they don't
20
contribute
hours
to
a week.
society, they'll die.
Okay, they'll also die if they decide not to get up and go to the grocery store and go get food.
Right.
I think people should get up and go to the grocery store and go get food so that they don't die. The same way I think that people should
the same
contribute
way,
to
if someone
society.
doesn't get up and go to the grocery store to get food, I don't think they should die. I think that food is a human right.
They will die. If you don't feed yourself, if you don't get up off the couch and feed yourself, you will die.
Sure, but like there's also
If
there's food stamps, food benefits.
If you want
there's a bunch of
access to
different
the
programs
best
to help these
healthcare
people.
system in the world for no cost to you other than a cost to the people around you in your community, fellow taxpayers, if you want access to the absolute best healthcare in the world, then you should contribute to your
Who says
society
it's the
that's
best
giving you that.
healthcare in the world?
That's undisputed.
Who?
It's
One
quality-wise.
expert that agrees with
Quality-wise, it's undisputed. We fund half the world's research and development. We come out with like 70% of leading technology in the medical field. We came out with, when there was a pandemic, we had 4 companies come out with vaccinations before any other country in the world. There's no dispute that we have the best medical care in the entire world.
Okay, then why are they?
We don't have
Why
the
are there
best
still
medical
50,000
outcomes.
people that die every year?
We don't have the best medical outcomes because our population is very sick. I mean, we're super unhealthy. We love smoking cigarettes, drinking, all this other stuff. Some people like doing smugs, but
Okay, what's your point?
why? Okay, you're attacking my point. Let me attack yours a little bit. If someone wants access to the best healthcare in the world, why should they not have to give anything in exchange for that? Why are they just entitled to other people's money?
Because it's a human right. If they don't get preventative health care, they could die.
Healthcare is not a human right, and that's just your opinion. It's not
Why do you
recognized.
disagree with me?
The problem with making something a human right is when someone else has to pay for it or give you that service. The problem is by you saying it's a human right. Say I owned a concrete business and you labeled as a human right for people to have concrete driveways. The problem is you're saying that I must give my service to someone free of charge or whatever.
No, not free of charge.
Or someone else has to pay for it. That's the big problem.
Someone else pays
It's
for it.
easy.
The society pays for it.
It's
yeah.
easy for liberals to
We're
say
a
like,
democratic
oh,
society.
hold on. It's easy for liberals to say like, oh, make it it should be a human right. That's the nice thing to do. It's awesome because you guys vote based on your emotions. But when I bring up the logistics of, well, it's kind of hard to make it a human right because someone else has to pay for it. Why? What's your response to that? How do you make something a human right that someone else has to do? Do you force them?
It's not hard to make it a human right. All you gotta do is increase taxes, and then you got.
Which,
you
by the
cut
way, we're
military
pretty much
budget.
already there. We're pretty
was
much already there. We got EMTALA. Like, no one's getting denied emergency health care. You're just saying
We're talking about preventative healthcare.
Yeah,
Holy
and that's
shit.
not a
Preventative
human right.
healthcare.
You can't show me anywhere in our government that they declare that to be a human right. That's just your
life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, right? If you die
life,
because
liberty,
of
and life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and healthcare.
Hold on. If you die because of the lack of access to preventative healthcare, you don't have life, you don't have liberty or pursuit of happiness because you're dead. It's the government's jobs to prevent death.
I think you're stretching. I think you're stretching the life, liberty.
What does life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness mean? Then go ahead.
My general understanding of it off the head, I'd say it's a lack of government tyranny, our freedoms, things like the Bill of Rights. So your right to free speech, right to bear arms.
You're for liberty, sure.
Yeah, like the government's stopping the government from coming after you for anything that's not like, say, crime related or breaking a law.
Life mean? What does it mean when they say life?
Life?
Yeah, it says life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. What does it mean when they say life? It's the government's jobs to keep their citizens alive, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's fundamentally more like security. Like the government has a responsibility to ensure, we don't get invaded or a nuclear weapon dropped on
prevent
us.
death within their own society. It's the government's job. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, yes, what I said isn't a stretch, right? If people die because of lack of access to preventative healthcare, they're dead. They're not alive. So the government did a bad job in preventing that.
Yeah, I mean, you've said that 3 times, but
you're not addressing my point. That's why I'm repeating.
I am addressing your point. I'm saying I get it. That's a cool soundbite. Like, it sounds awesome. But the problem is that you refuse to acknowledge is that someone else has to pay for that shit.
You acknowledged that, and I said, yes, taxpayers are going to pay for it. When did I fail to acknowledge that? I think that's a failure of you listening. But I hope like there's,
for example,
no barrier.
Let's say that we actually went with your ideology and the government, Congress just stamped it as a human right. We don't even have the capability to pay for that.
Yes, we do.
Okay,
cut the military budget in half, raise taxes on billionaires, millionaires, raise taxes on the average American. Raise taxes on the average American. $50, increase taxes.
At that point, what's the difference? At that point, what's the difference from somebody just going out and getting a healthcare plan?
Because I would argue that like $50. I would argue that like $50 is way less than thousands of dollars. Would you agree?
50. No, it's actually for what you're proposing. Like, for example, if you look at a Nordic country, their effective tax rate for you probably make like what, 70K a year?
What's your point?
Is that what you make? 70, 60K a
I'm
year?
gonna share my income with you.
Okay, well then okay, well let's assume you make 75K a year. In a Nordic country, your effective tax rate is going to be almost double. So you're going to say, "Oh, great, I have free healthcare."
Okay, that's
But
fine. Nordic countries
far,
have like one of the they have the best
but
health.
you're actually paying more for that healthcare than living in America. The problem with America is a lot of people
They
don't
also
want to
have
get
better social.
healthcare.
They have better economic mobility, right? It's not just healthcare.
Well,
They
what?
also
What?
fund. They
Hold
also
on.
fund. They also fund.
Where?
They also fund more
What?
programs, right? It's not like saying these hundreds
What
of dollars
Nordic
that you
country
pay.
has better economic mobility?
All of the Nordic countries have better economic mobility than the
Okay,
United States of America.
can you give me a source on that?
Yes, the index. I don't
What do you
know.
define as economic mobility? Like being able to go from poverty to say like rich or upper class?
Pretty much like being able to like being able to like go from like
Yeah,
poverty line to like past the poverty line.
definitely not. That's the whole reason why immigrants want to come to America so bad. Is because
the
we have the
world
best
population.
environment for economic mobility.
The world
I mean,
population.
you probably everyone here watching this probably knows someone that went from poor to working their ass off and moving up the social ladder.
I'm not denying that. This doesn't happen in America. I'm saying it is better in these Nordic countries, right? It's gonna be Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Iceland, Netherlands, Switzerland, Belgium, Austria, and Luxembourg. According to World Population Review, as well as pretty much any source that you look at, Economic Mobility Stanford Center, um, pretty much any source that you look at would say would at least name a couple Nordic countries. The
Yeah.
World Economic Forum, they name it as Denmark to be the first, so it varies like which Nordic country is the first. But like typically, what we see is like yes, the a Nordic country or Nordic countries would be like top 5 with economic mobility. Same with like healthcare, right? Nordic countries have are like top 5 in healthcare. Same with press. Nordic countries, a press were like 63 in press. America is not the greatest country in the world. That's a misconception that the far right has.
What country do you think is the greatest in the world?
I can't point to a single country that is the greatest in the world. Well, all I know, America isn't the greatest country in the world.
Where do you live?
I live in America.
What country or what state?
Arizona.
Oh, well, that's probably your problem.
No, I'm looking at statistics.
You gotta move to a place like Florida.
Based on world statistics, we rank 63rd on free press. We ranked, I think it was 21 on
Free press. What do you mean by
on
free
economic
press?
mobility.
Like journalism?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, press, journalism, whatever you want to call it. Yes, Nordic countries are the highest on the list, right? Seems like these socialist countries, these communist countries are doing pretty good. They have good press, good healthcare, good economic mobility.
I mean, how do you
Arizona's like a red state. Like Arizona, like its local like politics are red, right? They're a swing state. I can grant you that for like the 2020 like the election, they're a swing state. Like they're red. Like my representative is like a Representative Abraham Hamadeh. He's a Republican, like pro Trump, pro MAGA. Everyone's like MAGA and Charlie Kirk here. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm looking this up. World Press Freedom Index by
it's Nordic countries are going to be like top 5, and then we're what 63rd or I'm somewhere in the 60s, I believe, right?
Yeah, why is this? I mean, what do they rank us off of? I'm not even trying to dispute it. I'm just like, where are they getting this number from?
Let's see. Accept everything. I don't know what I accepted to. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, we're 64th. Yeah, we're 60. I said 63rd. We're 64th. In Nordic countries are up there. Denmark, Sweden. Denmark is 4. Netherlands is 2nd. They have the 2nd. Finland, Sweden.
Yeah. I see the ranking, but how do they get this magical number? I mean, how do I know
magical number? It's just like who has like free press within their country, or like whether it's not it's being dismantled, right? Journalism as well, like it counts in mergers that happen. Like here in the United States, mergers are happening, right? That gets counted into play, right? Whenever you have a president threatening free speech, that also gets counted into play, right? Whenever like all of these different things like free.
Okay, so they're ranking this based on
A bunch of different factors, a bunch of them.
medical owner or media ownership, concentration,
Yeah, media ownership, yeah, mergers, yes.
censorship,
Yeah.
violence threats, independence from political power laws, judicial independence, defamation laws.
Yeah, pretty much what I like mergers, whether or not like they're attacking the free speech, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, or free press. Sorry. Make sure you guys are double tapping that phone screen if you haven't already.
okay.
Repost the live, share the live, do all the wonderful things. If you're over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe as always. If you guys want to support, check out the link tree in my bio. It's the Grifter bio. So yeah, take it away. What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with this. Independence from political power, like there's no doubt our media is highly influenced by politics. Media ownership concentration, yeah, 100%.
My point is like a couple
A
of years
handful
ago.
of people own all of our media outlets. Mainstream media is like
Right.
a closed off from the typical journalist. Censorship is really bad.
But my point is like a couple years ago we were higher on the list.
I-
Like
I
we were
agree with-
40s.
I agree with all this.
You agree it's bad, right?
I agree that yeah, our media apparatus is. I was so when you first said it, I thought that this was going to be ranking assuming that people were being like put in jail for journalism in America or something along that. But now that I'm reading the study, it makes sense the way they're ranking it because there's huge problems with our mainstream media.
Right. Like mergers, like it was talking about, yeah. So my point here would just be like these socialist communist countries are doing like pretty good if you look at it. These communist countries. Matter of fact, Donald Trump just posted a True Social about communism.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard to beat us in media. We're completely split down the middle. You'll hear insanely different stories based on what media you decide to consume.
Right. So, is there any other points that you wanted to bring up, or is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, I like talking about all topics. We got some very important pieces of legislation that's part of the reason why I support Trump that we're trying to push through. Stuff like the SAVE Act, immigration still very important.
Oh, what immigration policy?
What immigration policy?
Yeah.
Like for example, I'm supportive of Trump's outcomes on the southern border. He was able to
Policy,
hit
silly
like
goose.
what?
That's not a policy, you silly fucking goose.
Executive orders is a form of government policy.
Oh, what executive order did he sign in 2025 that led to a decrease in undocumented entry?
Yeah. So, for example, his executive order that reinstated the construction of the southern border wall. His executive order
When was that? When was that?
That was, I believe, that was within his first week. Within his first week, he also transferred like 110,000 acres from federal land to the Army, which vastly increased the number of resources that they have to defend that
Is the
territory.
border wall being built right now, or no?
Are they building it?
Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah,
Has it not resumed yet?
I'm asking you because you said this executive order was signed. So I'm asking you: is the border wall being built right now?
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about the border wall,
Yeah, it is.
According to who?
I mean, you made me second guess, so I Googled it, and yeah, it is reported by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The border wall construction is actively underway.
Sure. The quote unquote smart wall. This would be a smart. Okay. Okay. Let's say yeah, what you said is true. Whatever. Okay. So the border wall. So then, why did Donald Trump undermine a bipartisan border bill that would have built the border wall to a greater extent that Donald Trump did in his first term under the Biden-Harris administration? Biden and Harris didn't want this to be built. Right, but they would have conceded.
Yeah,
Also-
too easy.
be-
Did you watch the State of the Union last year? Trump talked about this.
Sure, I did. And also, one more point here. What Donald Trump did in his first term in terms of the border wall would be a violation of the Constitution, the appropriations clause. So I don't support that.
It doesn't surprise me at all. You guys hate the southern border, so you asked
Support
why
violating the law.
you asked
So I brought up 2 points. Why did Donald Trump undermine a bipartisan border bill that would have built the wall and stop undocumented entry to a greater extent in the long term? And then my second point was that in his first term, he violated the appropriations clause in an attempt to build 50 miles of the Mexican-American wall.
Yeah,
which is
so
a
for
violation of the
one,
Constitution.
it would have codified bad immigration policy and made it impossible. Well, hold on. Let me give you a list of reasons. It also was chock full of pork. Even after they removed it from the bill, which it should have never been in there, wild that it was in there to begin with. It had a bunch of Ukraine funding attached, which
That got passed.
why do we have to fund Ukraine to
That
secure our
got passed
border?
though, so that got separated, and it
So-
also got passed.
And also
What's your
third,
point?
like you guys always say, like, why did he kill the bill? It would have never passed anyways. 9 Democrats voted against it.
No, it literally would have passed. It was bipartisan. Republicans were on board. In fact, what you brought up was Ukraine funding. Yes, Democrats at first thought it wasn't going to pass because of the Ukraine funding. That's why they took it out, put it in a separate bill, and it got passed. But the bipartisan border bill did not get passed. Okay, first off. Second off, it still would have built the wall. Democrats conceded to Republicans on that. It would have built it to a greater extent. Donald Trump undermined this. You're not telling me why he did this. If his goal is to build the wall and stop undocumented entry to a greater extent, this bill would have done that. And then I want you to there's the second point that what he did in his first term of the border wall funding was a violation of the Constitution.
Yeah, so part of codifying, for one, and the reason why I asked you if you listen to the State of the Union is because it was a complete fallacy that we ever needed anything passed through legislation to solve the issue at the southern border. It's also that's an outdated talking point. You know, you guys could have that talking point in 2024 when the border was still shit and people were coming over and you were like, "Oh, we need the border bill." But you can't say the same thing now after we watched Trump completely solve the issue through executive order only. The same thing that Biden could have done, and Biden actually did do once it became problematic for his reelection campaign. He actually started
once the
implementing
bipartisan
executive
border bill
order
failed.
in July of
So you- hold on.
2024.
Hold on, you're misrepresenting. Once the border bill failed is when he started doing the executive order because he knew
He should have done that before.
Republicans didn't want to work. No, because they wanted to do long-term solutions. What
He
happens
tried to
after Donald
politicize a
Trump?
bill.
Hold on. What happens after Donald Trump is in office, right? And a Democrat goes into office and they repeal all of their executive orders. What happens then?
Exactly. If a Democrat comes into office and starts repealing all this good border policy, we're going to have a problem at the southern border.
Well,
So
you
we should
haven't
avoid
given me any border
a
policy.
Democrat ever getting elected again
You
into
haven't-
the
you haven't
executive
given me
office
any
'cause
border
they're going to
policy.
repeal all this good border policy.
What? Name me one good border policy.
I just started listing them off to you earlier.
You gave me one, and that was the
that
border
Trump
wall.
did? No.
You gave me one.
Okay,
that was
then
the border wall,
I'll
and Democrats
list
were
you
willing
off
to
10
do that.
right now. I'll list you off 10 right
Let's
now.
off 10. Go ahead.
So, started reinstated border wall construction, transferred all that federal land, like 110,000 acres from to the Army. He also started. He gave ICE the largest budget in U.S. history. He passed the Laken Riley Act. He also
That's not in his second term. Try again.
the Laken Riley Act wasn't in his,
policies in his second term.
yeah. The Laken Riley Act was in the second term. Are you serious?
Was it not? I swear to God, it was in his first term.
Nope. Second term, March of 2025.
You could be right. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So that's
the Laken
fifth.
Riley. Actually, let's talk about that. So why do you like
That's
the
the
Laken
fifth.
Riley?
Hold on, I got 5 more for you. You said he had no
No,
policy.
you got 6 more. So far we had border wall, federal
just-
land, ICE, and
Border law,
the
federal
Laken Riley
land,
Act.
ICE budget, Laken Riley Act.
Sure.
Okay, that's 4. So he also threatened tariffs on Mexico, forced him to send 10 to 15,000 troops to the southern border.
Sure.
He canceled the CBP One app. Started.
How so? In executive order.
He stopped. Yeah, he stopped the CBP One app from being an avenue for people to apply for asylum. This greatly decreased the amount of people at the southern border. He increased the number of border patrol officers. He also started going after mass deportations. We got 700,000 forced deportations in 2025 alone. If you count self-deportations, well, I'll just make that
You
my
got
ninth
3
point.
more. Yeah, you got 3 more.
I'll make that my ninth point. I'm on 9 right now.
You're on 3. You have
I've been
you have
raising my
wall,
fingers up
you have
every
border
time.
wall, federal land, ICE, the Laken Riley Act, tariffs, CBP One app, border patrol officers, and mass deportation. You're on 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8.
Mass deportations.
That's your 8th. So give me 2 more.
Okay, yeah, I'm on 9. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm on 9. Ninth one was he enacted a policy for people to self-deport, which is in turn accounted for an estimated, what was it, 1.5
Give me the
thousand
statistics after. Just
self-deportations.
tell me the name of the policy.
Crap, I
Last
lost my train of thought on the 10th one. What was the 10th one?
You tell me.
Damn
Okay,
it.
let's just go through these 9.
Okay, I guess I only have 9 for now. Dude, I had a 10th one. What the hell? Okay, whatever. 9's cool. 9's cool.
Yeah, let's just go through these 9. Mass deportation. What do you like about mass deportation?
What do I like about mass deportation?
Yeah, name one benefit to the average American of mass deportation policy.
Illegal immigrants being in our country is very expensive, and on average, it costs us $150 billion net to the taxpayer through them, according to Center of Immigration Studies, Manhattan Institute, Federation of American Immigration Reform.
How do they count? Do they count in their children?
Hold on.
Is it households?
I'm about to tell you how they incur these costs. They incur these costs through education. It's $18,000 per year per kid that goes into our education system.
Are they American citizens?
We don't discriminate based on your immigration status for going to public school.
Are the statistics counting American citizens? Yes,
I'd assume that students or children of undocumented immigrants, even if they were
if they're born here, they're American citizens, right? So those statistics would be counting for American citizens. So already those statistics are wrong. We're looking for undocumented immigrants.
Just throw them out the window, right? Yeah, just throw them out the window.
Because hold on, are we counting undocumented immigrants or citizens? Who are we counting?
It's the cost of illegal immigration in America.
Oh, perfect.
It's costs incurred through illegal immigration. For example, if 2 illegal immigrants come over here and have 20 kids, that's going to be very expensive for the taxpayer, right?
And if those 20 kids grow up, they're going to be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes eventually, right? If they live like the average span.
Well, if you look at the Center of Immigration Studies, it accounts for all that.
No, it doesn't. What?
Yes, it does.
I've looked at the study. No, it does not.
No. Okay, well then I could quote you the exact study. Center of Immigration Studies.
Hold on. You're saying the Center for Immigration Studies actually cites how much
lifetime costs.
How much
yes, lifetime cost per illegal immigrant. Yes, lifetime cost per illegal immigrant.
What the citizen would contribute.
Net cost.
Okay, does it account for what the child would contribute?
Yes, dude. Listen to what I'm telling you.
So hold on. Hold on. So the Center for Immigration accounts for once the child, the American citizen of undocumented immigrants, once they grow up, it accounts for how much they pay in taxes?
Correct.
Okay, give me the source.
Center of Immigration Studies.
What's the title?
I'll give you the exact number too. I know this off the top of my head. $88,000.
I just need $220,000. I need the title. What's the title? Because that's bullshit. They don't account for that.
Just look this up with me.
I've looked at this source before.
This is what I'm looking up, and it's going to get you right to the source. 88,000 to 240 or 220,000, if I remember right, per illegal immigrant. Lifetime costs. Center of Immigration Study. Okay, is this it?
Immigration impacts on public. Which one is it? The cost of illegal immigration to taxpayers? House Committee on the Budget.gov? Cato Institute? Because I know the Cato Institute, far-right organization,
we can
they
talk
don't
about
account for that, so don't even cite the Cato Institute.
Cato Institute is not far-right. It's a libertarian think tank that's very pro-immigration. It's not far-right. Cato? You just call Cato far-right?
Is it Cato? What is it?
I've never heard anyone call Cato far-right before. That's crazy.
They typically lean on the right.
Oh, no. Okay, so now they're leaning right. No, they're a libertarian think tank. They
lean right.
Okay, anyone can Google that.
Yes, and I did Google that. And I said far right, they lean right. Yes, that was my mistake. They lean right. But if you cite the Cato Institute, I've read what the Cato Institute says. Right, so that doesn't account for what the child would pay in taxes for the 80 years that they're alive, right? I've read the House Committee on the Budget. That doesn't account for either, right? So if you want to give me something I haven't read, because everything I have read doesn't account for that.
Okay, here's one. They come out with a new report every year. Here's one that they prepared for the House Judiciary Committee.
Sure, what's the title?
The cost of illegal immigration to taxpayers. Let's see what they say on this one. It's going to be somewhere around that
Is it
number.
January 11, 2024?
Let me scroll back up. January 11, 2024. Yep.
Okay. The cost of illegal immigration. What does this prove? Which page do you want me to look at?
Let's scroll to where they say, okay, using the National Academy's estimate of immigrants' net fiscal impact by education level, we estimate that the lifetime fiscal drain
Which page is this?
This is on page 2, key point. This is just a summary of their findings so far. But right here, the first thing that stuck out at me was using the National Academy's estimate of immigrants' net fiscal impact by education level. We estimate that the lifetime fiscal drain for each illegal immigrant is about $68,000, although this estimate comes with some caveats. Illegal immigrants,
including their citizens. That's my point.
Hold on. Illegal immigrants make extensive use of welfare. Based on government data, we estimate that 59% of households headed by illegal immigrants use one or more.
Households headed by, hold on, pause right there. Households, hold on. I've looked at all this data. And I wanted you to read this for exactly this point. That 59% includes households, which includes citizens within those households, A. B, it also references as non-citizens. They're getting this from a different study that cites this 59% that says non-citizens. Green card holders, those are non-citizens. Those are counted in that 59%. So already, this isn't just about undocumented immigrants. It's about everyone.
No.
Then who are they saying? Then where do they get that 59% from?
Hold on, read that bullet point back to me. You didn't finish reading it.
Yeah, so it says illegal immigrants make an estimated welfare based on the government data. We estimate that 59%
illegal
of
immigrants, not legal immigrants.
Households.
Green card holders would be legal.
They're saying undocumented immigrants, households, that are headed by undocumented immigrants, but they're still citizens living within those households. And they're also citing this from a different study that says
you're trying to discredit the study. You're trying to discredit the study by saying there might be someone legal in that household.
No, that's literally what the study that they're citing says.
Dude, no, that's what that seriously.
That's what the study says. Have you even taken a look at the study?
Yeah, it's been a while since I read it, and I didn't read the 2024 one. I read the 2023 one. But dude, that is the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard. The most ridiculous argument I've ever heard is there might be a green card holder in that household.
Okay, I can give you a source. Hold on. Right. I can give you a source.
You're right. Let's throw this study out the window.
I'll put this up for the screen for you.
There might be a green card holder in the house.
I'll put this up on the screen for you. So right here, this is what they're citing. Center for Immigration Studies. Okay, so I searched up this welfare use by immigrants, right? And this is what they're citing. The 59%. That is what they're citing. This is what they're citing. The rate is 59% for non-citizen households. This is the exact study that they are citing. The rate is 59% for non-citizen households, e.g.
that's
green
not what,
card holders
that's
and
a
illegal
difference.
Immigrants.
Brother, that's a difference.
Hold on.
No. You're not going to make that correlation just because the number matches.
Hold on.
No.
I've read both of these articles. This 59% is cited from this one that cites both green card holders and illegal immigrants. And then it talks about this one. It talks about compared both household headed by U.S.-born immigrants headed households. It's have a high use of food programs, right? In Medicaid, whatever, it gives you all that.
And that number's wrong from the study we're looking at too.
This is what they're citing.
Okay, but it says 39% here and 36% there. So maybe they're not.
Is right here.
That's very likely they could not be.
This is the 39% here. You got to keep track. 39% is here.
Yeah, but right above that says 54%.
This is what you don't even realize. This.
No, dude, hold on. You're trying to confuse the audience right now because no. I see right through what you're trying to do. They make very clear distinctions in the verbiage. In the study that I just gave you,
there's distinction. Hold on.
The verbiage was exactly
compared to the 39% headed by U.S. born, compared to the 39% from U.S. born households, and then it also cites the 59%
but that's saying 54 versus 59
headed by illegal immigrants.
Hold on, that's saying 54 versus 59.
59% of non-citizen households. Okay, this is just
Which,
misrepresenting the data.
By the way, the only thing that you would possibly be winning here is the fact that green card holders are also a net fiscal drain. By the way,
No,
that's
they're
what you're
not a net
arguing
fiscal
for.
drain.
But
This just
hold
accounts
on.
for non-citizens. They're non-citizens. Anyone who isn't a citizen or doesn't have citizenship.
No, this study
is
used the
accounted in this
exact verbiage:
59%.
illegal
The same with
immigrants.
this. The same
Illegal
with this.
immigrants.
The
You're
same
trying to
with this.
cross-reference studies because they have similar numbers. You can't
No,
do
it's-
that.
they-
Okay, well
this
then show
study-
me in that study
this
that it
study-
referenced the other study, the
This
previous
study
one.
is using this
It's
data.
from a whole different year. What's that year from?
Yeah.
What year is that? What year is that from? 2023. This is a 2024 study. You're trying to cross-reference to a
Can you read this
2023
for me?
just because the numbers
Can
are
you read
similar.
this for me?
You're being disingenuous.
Can you read this for me?
Oh, it's 2022 actually.
this.
It's even earlier.
All of this. Right?
Hold on. This study was very clear, and you can put it back on your screen. They use the verbiage
So
illegal
this also states, by the way,
immigrants.
this also states 2022
Illegal
right there.
immigrants.
It cites 2022 and then 2021. It also cites 2023, right? So if you want to say that, like, this report was published on 2024, but if you even read through this report, right? You haven't read through either of these reports. Okay, you haven't read through this. You haven't read this. You haven't read this. You haven't read this. You haven't read any of these.
Now
actual
you're trying to
articles.
spiral into I haven't read every aspect of it. I told you I read the
Because
2023 report,
I have read
and we
these,
can
and
look
I
at the
know that they cite
2024.
these.
Bullshit! You didn't.
Okay,
you
prove
were
that
actively-
this data is 2024. Prove it. Prove that this data right here.
No, I'm
is
just saying.
2024
I'm
data.
telling you to
Oh,
go
now
through.
you can't prove
go
it.
through
All
this
of a sudden,
and
now you can't
argue-
prove it.
Go through this and argue instead of trying to obfuscate the verbiage with another
Is
report.
this
to try to-
2024
to try
data?
to
Yes or no?
discredit it.
Hold on. Is this right here 2024 data? Yes or no?
Is what part?
This one.
Illegal. I can't even read that. Illegal immigrants make extensive use of welfare.
Is that 2024 data?
I can Google it for you. You don't have access to Google?
You're the one who made the claim. This is 2024 and mine was 2022. Therefore, my
No, I'm trying
my
to just get you to
cross-referencing
stay
is
on
wrong.
topic. You're crashing.
We're staying on topic.
you're
you
crashing.
dumbass.
You're
The rate
crashing.
is 59% for non-citizens.
You're crashing because
You-
you don't
I'm
want to
crashing
take the source at face value because it breaks down
Yeah,
your
because I want to
worldview.
look into what your source says. If the 59% is referencing
Hey,
people
look.
other than undocumented immigrants, that source is wrong.
Where are you getting at with this? Do you think net
Can you
illegal
tell me-
immigrants are a net
can you-
positive?
Can you tell me, is this 2024 data or what year data is it?
Dude, it could be 2023, 2022.
Oh, so all of a sudden now you don't know. Got it.
Dude, you're trying to pick
you were
split
critiquing me.
hairs. You're trying to
critiquing
split
me. Okay,
hairs.
So then,
when I'm
hold on.
trying
Why
to
were
get
you
to-
splitting hairs? Why were you splitting hairs saying it's
I'm
at
trying to get you to
2023?
look at the big picture that illegal immigration is very expensive.
No,
And you're splitting
you're
hairs of
saying-
this has got this report has got
this
a minor
cites-
a minor issue.
Yes, it does have issues, which make it wrong. That 59% cites non-citizens, which includes green card holders, which includes anyone that is not a citizen, is included in that. And also, I've read this study, and I told you that I read this study. This study does not account for when the child grows up and when and how much they'll pay into taxes. They don't account for that. So when you're referencing education and the citizens, that are born here from undocumented immigrants, and you want to count that the education costs, I'll grant it to you only if you can find me a source that counts into the fact that these citizens
this
will
whole
contribute and how
study-
much will they contribute. The point is there is no source that gets that into account. Right? That's why you're wrong, because this
Dude, this
doesn't
whole study
account for
takes
only
taxes
undocumented
paid
immigrants.
minus all government services received.
Taxes paid by who? Undocumented immigrants. Not the
Undocumented
future
immigrants.
taxes paid by the citizen children.
Throughout
Was
their
the point.
lifetime.
The point of the study was to prove that the citizens and the children, let's say a 5-year-old that grows up to be 18, that goes through school, that gets paid from a citizen, a child of citizen of an undocumented immigrant, you need to prove that that is accounted for, that the future taxes that they pay are accounted for. The point is, no source that you can provide accounts for that. That's my point. So whenever you say, okay, you want to count in citizens, children's citizens, and how much they cost for education, sure, I'll grant that to you only if you account how much they'll pay into taxes because they got a good job, because they got that education. But no source does that. That was my point with this. And then you
Okay.
brought up a different point of the 59%, which is also completely wrong because it accounts for non-citizens.
Brother, Even if we take the citizen children out, let's just say their parents, it's a net drain as well.
According to who?
According to the same study, maybe you
non-citizens?
knock off on average $10,000 a year of the net drain. Even in your best case scenario, you're arguing that the children are going to offset a 68,000 net fiscal loss.
Yes. Do you know
What evidence do you have of that?
Taxes?
What evidence do you have that they
How
would
much
do
does
that?
the average American pay in taxes in the span of their lifetime? Do you know?
Well, actually, if you look it up, the average American is a net fiscal drain as well.
Can you answer the question?
You're saying, oh, what if they pay as many taxes as the average American? The average American is a net fiscal drain too.
Okay,
You can
what's
look
your
that
point?
up.
Are you gonna answer my question?
Even if they grow up to be an average American, there's still going to be a fiscal drain that we incurred from illegal immigration. Are you
The average
tracking
American
that?
will pay, you didn't answer the question. Roughly $500,000 in taxes.
And how much do they cost?
So let's say we.
Why won't you answer that?
Let's say.
Why won't you answer anything?
I don't
You
know
won't
that
answer
number.
a single
I don't know
thing.
that number. I don't know how much.
But
the
do you
average-
know?
like,
But do you at
where
least
is
know
it
that the
fiscal?
average American is a net fiscal drain?
Sure. What's your source?
On that?
Yeah.
Brother, just look at how our taxes
Look it
are
up. Just trust me,
collected.
bro.
Okay, let me get you a source that I can't believe
Anyways,
I have
I'll
to give you a
continue
source.
with
on
what I
this.
was
No,
saying.
no,
Let
no,
me
no.
look up your
Pause. We're
source.
gonna pause right here. I'm gonna get you a source because you asked for it. I'm gonna get you a source that the average American a net fiscal drain. It's like something you shouldn't even have to. I mean, the bottom 50% of Americans pay less than 1% of the federal taxes. Most of our taxes is paid by the top 1%, and I have to prove to you that they're a fiscal drain. Sure, I'll do it. The fact that I have to is ridiculous.
Well, I'm
Okay, I
saying
just
that you have to
googled
provide
is
sources for claims.
the average American a net fiscal drain? This is an AI overview, but hopefully I don't have to go deeper than that.
Source.
Yes, the average native born
I need a
American is
source. I don't
generally a
take
net
AI
fiscal
overview.
drain over their lifetime as the value of government services and benefits they receive exceeds the taxes that they
I
pay.
don't use AI overview. I need a source.
Okay.
By the way, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just asking. You need to let
No,
me
you
provide
are.
sources.
You literally are. You
When did I say disagree? I
you
just
stopped
said
this
prove
whole
it.
conversation to ask for a source.
I just said prove it. I'm sorry that I asked you for a source.
You're already walking it back. That's cool. It's funny.
No, hold on. I never said I disagree, right? All I'm saying is
Okay,
prove
here's
what
a
you
source
say.
for you. The
What's your
majority of
source?
them
Title?
by the tax foundation. The majority
What's
of
the title?
American families.
What's
The
the title?
majority. I'm giving you the title right now, dude. Calm down. I know you're getting cooked, and you've lost all your viewers at
Buddy,
this
you
point.
gave me a wrong source that proved me
Bro,
right. by
all
the
your
way.
viewers disappeared because I'm cooking you. The
No, it's 'cause
title
you're
of
boring
this
as
the
shit.
title of this is the majority of American families receive more in federal spending than they pay in federal taxes. Unreal that I have to go through this with you. Still, cannot believe that.
How much does the average American family receive in benefits?
Okay, so the low, for example, the lowest. If we can read this together, the lowest income families receive an average of $8.13 in federal spending for every $1 that they pay, while the next lowest gets $2.96, and middle income families receive $1.57. While meanwhile, it's not until you get to upper income families that are net contributors to the government. Top of the middle class they're finally starting to receive 83 cents back
How do
for
they
every
get this
dollar
data?
that they pay. Oh
How
my
do-
god!
how does the tax
Oh my
foundation
god!
get this
And now
data?
you're trying to challenge the data. There's no way you're a
Damn.
serious debater on TikTok. There's no
Wait, hold
way.
on. Challenging the
There's
data
no
is
way.
not a serious debater.
Oh my god! This shouldn't even be something that I had to source for you.
I just want to see how they get the data. It says these findings come out on a new report, the distribution of tax and spending policies. So, I mean, obviously, like the top billionaires and millionaires pay more taxes. I'm not disagreeing with you there. But let's see what this says. Collectively, families in the bottom three income groups, those earnings under 67,000, are net beneficiaries of government spending. This means that as a group, the majority of Americans' family receive more back in government spending than they pay in the federal taxes of all kinds. Okay, they didn't cite anyone. The lowest income family, blah blah blah. You've read that. Middle income families, blah 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 blah. Okay, they didn't. Okay, they cited their own source. Interesting.
Can we agree that the average American is a net fiscal drain?
Should I grant it to you for the sake of the argument? Sure.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Sure,
right
let's just
now.
say I granted you for the sake of the argument, but like
No, we're gonna grant it as a
I'll
fact
keep that.
because it's a literal fact. I don't care what you think it is. It's a
I
fact.
mean, this source that you like provided me, have you even like?
Okay,
taken
you want
a look at
another
these
one?
graphs?
You want another source?
I mean, I'm on the taxfoundation.org. Have you?
I'll give
taken a
you.
look
I'll
at
give
any
you
of these
another
graphs?
source. Are we gonna get anywhere in this?
It also
Or
talks
you-
about medium incomes vary greatly by education. No high school diploma, 24,000. High school graduate, 38,000. Median income, 50,000. Bachelor's degree, 75,000. Professional degree, 119,000. Right. So I'm just seeing where this data is coming from. I like to question data. That's the thing about me. I don't take data on face value the same way as if I took the 59% that you gave me on face value, that would have been completely incorrect. Because it counts for non-citizens, right?
It's
That's why
so
I take a look at, I do a deep dive in the data. So I'm looking at this. But let's say I grant it to you, right? Let's say it is a fact, or whatever. What's your point?
My
That doesn't
point
prove me
is,
wrong.
my point, it does. Dude, are
Does
you
that prove me
tracking
wrong
with
that
me?
undocumented immigrants are going to pay like $500,000 in
Because
taxes
you're
in
saying,
the span of their lifetime?
I'm
And
telling
the
you,
point was that your sources don't account for the $500,000 that individual would pay in their lifetime. That your source doesn't account for that.
shout out for the roses. So what I'm telling you is you're saying, oh, what if these undocumented immigrants' children grow up to be the average American? And then I tell you, well, they would still be a net freaking drain because the average American's a net drain.
Yeah. So that there's no
So that
you can't. That's
disproves your
correlation
point.
causation.
That disproves
You're
your
saying,
rebuttal.
You're saying
Your
because the average
rebuttal.
American are a net fiscal drain, these immigrants are going to be on net fiscal drain also. That's
Yes,
correlation
it is.
causation.
No, what are you? Okay, can you define a correlation causation
You are
fallacy?
saying that you were literally saying
No, define that
because
fallacy. Because
you
you
are
just
literally
misused
saying
that fallacy
you are literally
too.
saying
This can't
you
be
are
real. Define a causation correlation fallacy. Define that.
you didn't even say it right.
Causation correlation fallacy. Define what that means because you just
You didn't
misused
say
it.
it right either. Correlation causation.
Okay, define it.
You're saying because these people, these American citizens, on average, are a quote unquote net fiscal drain. That means that these U.S. citizens from undocumented immigrants are also going to be a net fiscal drain because they are. Right. It's in the name.
No, what I'm saying is you're saying that these kids can grow up to be the average American and be a net positive to the economy and to the taxpayer, right?
No, that's not the claim that I made.
Yeah, it was. It was
The claim that I made, the claim that
But
I've
now
been
you're
making.
gonna walk it back.
The
Yeah.
claim. Can you play it back? Go ahead. But the claim that I've been making is your source doesn't account for that. I never made.
I'm
whether or
saying
not
we
they're-
can-
hold on.
We can
you
use
agree?
deductive reasoning
Can
and
you
say
agree?
and say that.
Hold on. Can you agree that I never made a positive or a negative claim on whether or not they're a benefit or like a net drain? I've never said that. I've never said if they are or aren't. You can agree to that. I've never said that.
I'm
I've
pretty sure
tested
that's
your
why we've
logic.
been arguing
I-
this
I've-
entire time. Is that they're a net
I'm
fiscal
arguing with
drain.
your logic, but I've never made a affirmative claim. What I'm saying is your sources don't account for that. Your sources don't account for the
But even if I grant you that, which is what I'm doing right now, look, dude.
so then
even if
your
I-
sources are wrong.
Even if
And
I
that was the whole
grant,
point.
look,
You wanted to bring up a source that would have proved me wrong about
What's your
education.
name, Jeremiah?
And you said that those sources,
Jeremiah?
those sources would have included the $500,000 that they spend. You were wrong.
Jeremias, even what I'm trying to get across to you is even if I grant you that these people
you're wrong,
grow up
and you
to be
concede.
the average American, even if I grant that,
No, that's not what you're granting me. You're granting me that your
they're going
source
to
is
be a
wrong
net fiscal
because
drain as
but
a
you made the
result of
claim.
illegal immigration.
You made the claim that your source that accounts for education of citizens also account for the $500,000 that they pay in taxes.
No, I
throughout the
didn't.
span
That's
of
the
their
whole reason
lifetime.
why we're arguing this right now. Why would we be arguing this if I said you could just read that in that report? Now you're just lying. Why that? What are you talking about? Why would we be arguing this
hold on.
if I said that the report accounted for that?
Because I asked you.
I would
does
just
that
tell you to
account-
look in the report.
Hold on. I asked you, does the source that you are citing, does that account for what they'll pay in their lifetime? Right.
I
And
said
then you
no. That's
No,
why we.
you're
That's why we
gaslighting
got
me.
on this topic. That's
You're
why we're
gaslighting
talking.
me. You're gaslighting me.
No, you're either being super disingenuous or having an insane brain fart right now. The whole reason we're debating if an American is a net negative on the American taxpayer is because the report didn't account for it. That's the whole reason why we're talking about this right now. Or else I would have just said go look in the report where it says it counts for this.
Okay. So then
Brother,
you gave
you're
me-
so cooked that your brain is actually fried.
Okay, so then you answered.
Where now you're not
you
even
mis-
remembering why we're
so-
debating.
So then you misunderstood the question I asked you and what I asked you to provide a source.
No, I think you're
asked you-
misunderstanding
Hold on.
everything that's happening.
Let's just clarify. I asked you to provide a source that accounts for what these citizen children cost in terms of education.
And what did I say
right?
back to you?
Is that yes? Is that what I
Yeah,
asked you?
and what did I say back
And
to
then I
you?
asked you, does your source also include what they'll be paying into the system throughout the span of their lifetime? You said yes. Then you gave me the source, and the source had nothing to do with that.
No. Okay, when you asked me that, I said no. Are you assuming that would make a difference? And that's how we got into that line of reasoning.
It's not what you said.
I said, would that make
You
a
said,
difference
yes, it does.
if it did account for that? And because you're trying to discredit that. I said that it at most, if you're going to argue that they would be a net positive, what would it be, a $10,000 deviation from what the report came to of a net fiscal drain? And you're like, oh, it'd probably be a lot more. I was like, where do you get that from? Because even if they grow up to be the average American, they're going to cost more money to the American taxpayer. No, bro,
There's no way you're a real debater.
good.
There's no way you're a real. You know this is on YouTube. I can play it back.
Oh, perfect, dude. Clip it up and send it to me because
I'll just post it on YouTube, right? I'll post it on
you're
YouTube. Where
complete-
you said
I don't think you're gonna
source-
post this at all. Okay. What's
Oh,
your
100%.
YouTube channel? Because I actually want to show
Link
people
in the
I know
bio.
this debate.
Link tree in the bio.
And you're gonna post this,
The entire debate where I cooked you. Yes.
dude. You cooked me, brother. Your whole audience left.
Because you're boring.
Oh, holy crap. And I'm getting more coins than you. I mean, if that's a something to tell you, look at this, dude.
He's in the chat for Izzy. You know I get like 60% of that.
Hey, coins in the chat will say.
You know
who
I get like
won.
60% of that. Izzy, thank you so much for the hand heart. I appreciate you so very much. You know I get 60%.
All right,
of
well,
that,
I got to
right?
get out of here. I should have been out.
Run
10
away,
minutes ago.
run away.
Yo, shout
Run away,
out, shout out.
frankly. Get some W's in the chat for Izzy. I appreciate you so very much. You're freaking amazing. You are amazing. Coins don't matter. Coins literally don't matter. I don't care about the coins. I care about having productive dialogue. Well, that went farther than I expected. I was longer than I expected. I was only going to be on for like half an hour. Turns out it was an hour and a half. He cooked you though? Yeah, come up and debate me. I'm probably going to get on later tonight. I'll be back later tonight on, so I'll see you guys then. I'll be back on in a couple hours. I'll see you guys then. You guys have a wonderful night. Take care. I will see you guys at around maybe like 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'll see you guys then. You guys take care. Have a great day.